Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7, out and about. And yes, as Kyle is on his way down to Molineux, unfortunately I can't be there today down at the ground. Family stuff going on, so obviously that has to come into the equation. I'll be back for the next game, of course, up at St James's Park. But yeah, today a massive game, because what you want to be doing after a defeat like we had in midweek, obviously albeit separate competitions, is bouncing back in style with a victory down there in a difficult game, but one I think, if we played our very best, we are more than capable of coming away with the 3 points from down in the Midlands against Wolves. So yeah, it's going to be a depleted team, no doubt about it. The players are dropping like absolute flies at the moment, aren't they? And that didn't help certainly in midweek, but I think we've got enough still in the tank to be able to get the 3 points today. I really do. It's just a case of what Newcastle United turns up. But yeah, we are down to the bare bones. There's no getting away from that, and there's also no getting away from the fact that despite a little bit of positivity yesterday coming about Sandro Tonali, he does not feature today, because late last night FIFA kindly graced us with a decision to ratify the Italian authorities' punishment. So 10 months he will now be missing. He's not back until I think it's the 27th of August. So, yeah, just in time for the new season. He can play in friendly matches, he can train, but he does have to go through a rehabilitation process, an education process, which will be based in Italy. 16 different appointments he's got to go for. So yeah, Sandro Tonali's season is done. I don't think we've even seen 10-20% of that lad's ability. He is a great player, but he's not going to be about. Yes, he's going to be involved in training, and that's great for him, great for his morale, and we'll be able to keep an eye on him and everything else, and we'll be able to help him in our own way in-house. Anyhow, the rest of the coaching team will be able to support him best there. So that is great, but there's no doubt he's a massive loss on the pitch. A player that we spent a lot of money on and now isn't going to be available. So it's a frustrating, it's a difficult one to be able to take, because we can't even do anything else about it with regards to reinforcements, replacements, obviously, until January, and then that's if we can get the FFP wiggle room that we will need to be able to make those sort of deals happen. And there's lots of rumours, isn't there, about at the moment about how Newcastle United could get round FFP issues with regards to loans, etc, etc. Lots of saltiness. Get ready for people's tears if some of this starts to come off. Obviously a lot of talk about Neves, lots of talk also about Phillips, it must be said, but I think clearly the club are now looking and focusing in that midfield area to try and get an extra player in there, over the summer, over the January, and hopefully well before the summer comes, we also get another striker in, because obviously Alexander Isak, he's going to be missing as well, isn't he? So we're down to one striker, and that is Callum Wilson, and we know about his quality. It's undoubted he's an absolutely fantastic striker, and I think he'll do the business for us today against Wolves. However, his injury history suggests he isn't going to be available all the time, and I just don't think he can play 3 times a week, week in, week out. He cannot physically do that, and with nobody else, literally nobody else, who's able to step into that position until the Isak is back fit. Isak injury, the groin injury, isn't expected to be too bad according to what all the journalists and what Eddie Howe has said, but you'd have to think he's going to be missing at least a couple of weeks. We've got big games coming up, of course, against Manchester United, haven't we, before stepping back into Premier League action and battle at St James's Park. Looking forward to being back at that game. It would be nice to get a little bit of revenge in that game, wouldn't it? But we're going to have to box very, very clever. We're going to have to watch the minutes that Callum Wilson is able to do. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Anthony Gordon deployed as a striker, Joe Linton deployed as a striker mid-game. So, you could have Callum Wilson starting the game, getting to 60 minutes. If the match is going well, say that you've got a 2-goal advantage or something like that, Anthony Gordon maybe getting pushed up front, Joe Linton getting pushed up front, and Wilson coming off just to save the minutes and to try and reduce the risk of injury to Callum Wilson as much as is possible, basically. because obviously the other striker and alternative that Eddie Howe mentioned himself a few weeks ago was Jacob Murphy, and of course he also has an injury, so again it further weakens the options that Eddie Howe has got to cover Isaac's injury and stuff. But yeah, Jacob Murphy dislocated his shoulder. There's talk about, well, we might be able to get away without without him having surgery. I severely doubt it. I think every opportunity and every injury that you ever hear on a football pitch that involves that sort of injury, you just got to look at was it Robertson at Liverpool. It involves getting surgery done, and then that's months and months and months before you will see him back in action in a Newcastle United shirt, and you've got to be ever so careful with that. Can't rush him back, or you just risk re-injuring and re-aggravating and pushing a player back. But it's gutting for the lad, absolutely gutting. To be down on his arse like he was a couple of years ago, sent out on loan to the likes of Sheffield Wednesday, the poor bastard. Who wants to fucking go to Sheffield Wednesday? But to be on your arse and to be sent out here, there and everywhere, West Brom on loan, Sheffield Wednesday on loan, to fight your way back into it all, and then to get a nasty injury like that, that's going to, I think, require surgery, is good, and he's going to be missing for months and months and months. And just another one to add to the ever, growing list of players currently unavailable. I know Sven Botman will be back shortly. Sven's back out on the grass. He's doing individual work. He's done no teamwork, with the rest of the team. He's working with the sports scientists, the medical people. He's not working with the rest of the team on anything else. So he's probably still another week or two away from coming back. And everywhere you look all across the pitch, there's injuries, there's problems. But we've got to dust ourselves down. We knew this would happen. We knew that the fixtures, the schedule would create these sorts of issues. And it's opportunities. Opportunities will knock. You think about the Dan Burn situation. Dan Burn was brought in as a centre-back. Target gets injured when he's playing really, really well. Dan Burn comes in, he doesn't let anybody down, and he keeps the place, and he keeps Matt Target, who returns, on the bench with limited minutes. So it's that sort of situation where it's up to somebody else in the squad to be able to step up and say, I'm going to take it. But it's just a bad situation at the moment. Elliot Anderson out for about 2 months with a back injury. It's some sort of stress factor. Honestly, listening to Eddie Howe's press conferences at the moment, it's like something out of fucking Casualty or something like that. It's all about injuries. It's all on about the walking wounded, as it were. And it's just disappointing. Another player I'm really gutted for, like Jacob Murphy, Elliot Anderson. He's turned down moves away. He wanted to stay and fight. He has stayed and fight for his position and stuff like that. And then you get a nasty injury like this. Just when you're looking, he's been so impressive in the cameos, the minutes that he's had. And again, you get a freak injury. You're talking about the Harvey Barnes one being a freak injury. This is another freak injury that we're getting. So frustrating, so disappointing. But like I touched on before, that's just part and parcel of it, isn't it? And it is just a shame. It is a huge shame. We cannot do anything. Our hands are tied. We have to go with what we've got. We're missing the likes of Lewis Miley as well. He's edging closer and closer to getting back into it. But again, even when he comes back, it's a lot to ask for. For a young lad to be able to step in and deputise for some of these players who are injured. But that they are going to have to do. There's no doubt about it. With the games literally coming. We're playing a couple of games per week, every fucking week up till Christmas. The scheduling is mental, and that is why teams all over the place are getting stupid injuries, and those in Europe even more so. So it is what it is. Today's side, it will be missing players. I don't expect the bench to be the strongest that it's ever been, but we can't use that as an excuse. We've got to go down there, we've got to get the points, we've got to get the job done. Nick Pope, he will be in goal, no doubt about that. I've touched upon before, I think Dubravka will be off sooner rather than later, and that might give us a little bit of extra wiggle room when it comes to FFP, who knows. But yeah, Nick Pope in goal, no doubt about that. Trippier, right back, captain, fantastic, unbelievable. Still stand by the fact, best signing best signing since the new ownership come in. The absolute key cog, the key component, like having a manager on the pitch. It really, really is. In the centre of defence, it will continue to be, I believe, Jamal Lascelles, Fabian Schär. Fabian Schär, absolutely fucking fantastic. And Jamal Lascelles proving a lot of people wrong. A lot of people were worried when he come back in, just like they were with Paul Dummett when he came in also, wasn't it, in the Manchester City game. But has been really, really good, has been absolutely fantastic, let nobody else down. We await news about his contract situation, Jamal Lascelles. That'll be one to explore very, very shortly. His contract is running out at the end of the season. So centre-back Jamal Lascelles, Fabian Schär. Left-back Dan Burn. I thought when Target came on midweek, he offered something completely different. He was a lot more attacking, trying to get crosses in, trying to be busy, trying to make things happen. I was pleased for Matt Target. I think he deserves some more minutes. I think he deserves a start, but I don't see it coming in this game, unfortunately. I think he may come on in this game. Again, depending upon how it's going. I see that substitution happening and Eddie Howe wanting to see the old Matt Target back, so giving him that chance, but I think Dan Burn will start, and then into midfield again. Numbers are diminished, really, aren't they? And it's who you go with in all these key positions. But I think Joe Linton, Bruno and Sean will start as your midfield three. Joe Linton looked a little bit off it, if I'm being if I'm being honest, we've been critical about it. I don't think we saw the best Joe Linton in the Champions League, if I'm being honest. It wasn't the only player, to be fair, but compared to normal, you'd like to see a few meaty tackles getting thrown in and about, putting himself all over the place, that physicality, that presence in midfield. We're going to need that today. We're going to need to be able to dig in, I think, for periods of the game. And then it's who plays either side. Again, injuries are affecting this majorly, which makes the news actually today that's come out about Harvey Barnes being back before the end of the year a massive bonus, because there was thoughts and worries that he could be missing for most of the season. So Harvey Barnes will be back soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so, a month, 5 weeks. Get him back, get him involved, and then either side for this Wolves game, I reckon Miguel Almiron on one side, Anthony Gordon the other, Callum Wilson up top. Callum Wilson will not last this entire game. I can't see it. Anthony Gordon will be deployed, I think, later on as a striker. So look for some substitutions to be able to facilitate that in the second half of the game. So just to recap, because I've gone off here and there. In goal, Nick Pope, I reckon. Trippier, Lascelles, Schär, and then left back Dan Burn. The midfield three: Bruno, Sean, Big Joe Linton. One side Anthony Gordon, the other side Miguel Almiron. Up top Callum Wilson. I reckon that'll be the side that Eddie Howe goes with. What do you think? Would you make changes? Is that the side that Eddie Howe is going to go with? Let me know down below in the comments, and your score predictions as well. Interested always to get your opinions on what the score could be for today's game. Personally, I think we can do it. I think we will get our noses ahead and do enough to get the points. Confident. Kyle's confident as well. When I've spoken to him, he's on the coaches at the moment on the way down, and I reckon it'll be a 2-1 close game. There's been lots of draws in this game recently, so I expect it to be really, really competitive. Not much in it, but hopefully for us just to show that extra little bit of quality that we've got, even with the injuries and even with the suspension and so on and so forth. So that's my prediction, 2-1. What's your prediction? What's your team? And what's your thoughts on the Tonali situation? It's gutting, isn't it? Absolutely a kick in the bollocks. That's how I felt actually after the midweek game, that it was a kick in the bollocks. We didn't play our best. We didn't get out of first gear. We didn't play our normal passing sort of brand of football, did we? The conditions didn't help that one little bit as well, but it felt like a low blow, to be honest, because you have the opportunities, you hit the woodwork a couple of times. The referee is probably their man of the match. Their second probably best man of the match is the fucking crossbar. It's one of their nights. But when you're playing teams of the caliber, of Dortmund in the Champions League, you have to take the chances, and we did not. So I felt gutted after the midweek game. You know, it's a long travel back. You're up then for work the following day, crack a bird shit and all that sort of thing. Yeah, and it was just a sort of case of what could have been, and then the frustration about the injury situation. There's no doubt that Isaac going off in the first half disrupted the flow as well. So disappointment, but we've got to channel that disappointment that we all felt, I think, on Wednesday, into a performance today, into a response today, and into 3 points today as well. So yeah, let me know down below your thoughts and comments on today's game. We'll be back with a full review after everything's finished down there. There'll be plenty of footage taken from Carl from the away end, sampling the atmosphere down at Molineux. So check out the YouTube channel and Facebook and everything else as well later on for all those videos. And in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.